If you want an image of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face. Forever. Thought crime does not entail death. Thought crime is death. And the punishment is severe.
That intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain. They're laundering disinfo when we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice or vote. Oh, information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet notice. Information's origin seems slightly less atrocious.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and this is a little concerning. Obviously, we know everything is going to ramp up here in the year 2024 from a censorship perspective. And YouTube just removed 35,000 videos for, well, you know, not apparently adhering to the message. And on top of that, have also begun removing other videos at the behest of various other governments. And, you know, quite frankly, this is ahead of this year's election cycle. This is ahead of what they do in every country in terms of, you know, what's going on with their elections. And so it begins. YouTube removes 35,000 videos for quote unquote misinformation and now enhances content censorship ahead of upcoming 2024 elections. It's only going to get worse. You know, I can't mention the site, but there's an app for a site that's not Bumble, but it's close to it. Download it, follow The Quartering, follow your favorite content creators. It's only going to get worse out there. YouTube is bending the knee to just about anybody that's asking. YouTube has voluntarily assumed the role of a private business entity that, quote, supports elections. Google's video platform detailed in a blog post how this is supposed to play out. In this instance, it was just the EU. With the European Parliament election just around the corner, YouTube sets out new precedent in an overview of our efforts to help people across Europe and beyond find helpful and authoritative election news. Now, we talked about yesterday just how Google was going to use AI to control, essentially take, you know, remove whatever they want from search engine results and use AI to generate answers. Essentially cutting out the middleman, you know, removing the need for normies to go to a YouTube video to watch somebody fill them in or share their opinion because, you know, the AI will just tell them what to think or how to think. And it's a scary time. And especially as somebody who generates videos, you know I can see where this is going. It's going to leave Google and go directly to YouTube, and they're just going to AI generate videos when people ask, you know, how-to videos, various answers, you know, questions about video games, things like that. They'll all be able to be AI generated on demand. And where's that going to leave a lot of content creators out there? Now, to overview the the overview is the usual hodgepodge of reasonable concepts, such as promoting information on how to vote or register for voting, learning about, you know, the results that quickly morph into yet another battle for the war on disinformation, which, by the way, this is via reclaimthenet.org. They do excellent work. And what better way to, quote, support an election, by extension democracy, than engage in another round of mass censorship? But YouTube was happy to share that in 2023 alone, it removed 35,000 videos uploaded in the EU, having decided that the content violated the platform's policies, including around what the blog calls certain types of misinformation, raising the logical question if some type of, you know, if some of it is actually allowed. You know, I think ultimately we know what this means. I mean, yes, there is actual, like, harmful, you know, purposefully misleading information out there. And I think YouTube actually has a pretty good system in place with the little banner on it. That's fine. They can allow it to exist. But that's not what they do. They remove it. As for who's doing this work, YouTube suggests that it's a well-oiled machine of hard at it, round the clock and at scale, made up of global teams of reviewers and of course, machine learning algorithms. We know how effective those are. The blog post first states that one of the goals of YouTube's efforts is to help users learn about the issues shaping the debate. But then, in the part of the article that goes into how the platform actually deals with the content, it at one point starts to look at the giant might be trying to shape that debate itself. Our intelligence desk has also been working for months to get ahead of emerging issues and trends that could affect the elections both on and off YouTube, reads the post. In case somebody missed the point, YouTube reiterates it. This helps our enforcement teams to address these potential trends before they become larger issues. And while machine learning, aka AI, is mentioned as a positive when it comes to powering YouTube's ability to censor at scale, later on in the post, the obligatory mention is made of AI as a tool potentially dangerous to democracy. YouTube also states that coordinated influence campaigns are banned on the platform and promises that this is true regardless of political viewpoints that they support. Well, I mean, have you seen a lot of prominent left-wing accounts complain about being censored? I'm just curious. Have you seen a lot of prominent left-wing accounts constantly getting various content strikes or, things of that nature? No. Who have you seen get it? Right-wing accounts, conservative accounts, accounts that had their own opinions around the COOF. And, some of those opinions ended up being wrong. Some of those opinions ended up being right. But the point is, you're supposed to be allowed to have an opinion. Section 230 of, the protections that protect social media and protect the internet says that they're supposed to allow you to have an opinion and they are protected. So why are they changing algorithms to boost certain content, to deboost other certain content? Why are they rolling out new AI tools? Well, of course we know why. Because they want to make sure they can control the narrative. They want to make sure that they can, have the final say on what the truth TM is. And that's why, again, I continue to, this year is going to never be more important for new tech. And so wherever you are, if you haven't at least gotten the app and followed some of your favorite creators, if you tried the app a long time ago, and you're like, oh, I didn't like it then, I assure you it's come a long way. And I stream there every day at 5:30 Eastern. I would love to see you there. If that isn't enough reason, 16 attorneys now tell 16 Attorney General tell YouTube to stop targeting pro-life messages. Iowa Attorney General Brianna Byrd is leading a multi-state effort in demanding that YouTube remove specific, various abortion-related information from the site. Byrd and 15 other Republican attorney generals, including Nebraska, wrote that YouTube this weekend demanded that it remove or revise what Byrd calls dangerous and misleading labeled attached to videos that pertain to various pills. Again, I don't support this, right? I don't support when Republican governors go to YouTube and say, censor this thing. We know that Democrats do. We know that via the Twitter files, it was very common for the Democratic Party to do this, as well as I think some Republicans. We know that it was extremely common to see government officials, including those like the FBI and whatnot, come out and demand various levels of censorship. This is just all going on this week, right? YouTube agrees to remove videos of banned Hong Kong protest song. China #1, right? YouTube now says it will block access in Hong Kong to videos of performances of a banned protest song. I'm sorry, is there... YouTube's an American company. I was unaware that any songs are banned. I was unaware that the First Amendment suddenly didn't apply. They willingly censored this. Again, all of this is just this week. Hong Kong's Court of Appeal ruled last week that Glory to Hong Kong, which emerged as an anthem for protesters during the massive anti-government protests in 2019, is illegal to sing or even play in the city. The ruling said that the song's composer intended for the song to be used as a weapon. So YouTube and Google, of course, are owned by a California-based company, a company that is protected by the First Amendment and Section 230, but they were willing to work with the government to censor the people. as opposed to, say, websites like X or the Mean Green site. By the way, I don't say it because I have a theory that when you mention it on some of the big tech sites, they like bury the video. But, they told countries like Australia and Brazil and France and Russia to pound sand when they demanded them to censor stuff. Not YouTube. RFK tells Ninth Circuit feds ordered YouTube to remove his videos. This was yesterday. An attorney for independent presidential candidate RFK argued before Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals panel Tuesday morning that a federal judge should have granted a preliminary injunction Kennedy requested against Google over the removal of some of the candidates' videos. Kennedy sued Google in San Francisco federal court back in August, claiming that YouTube, which is owned by Google, violated his First Amendment rights by removing 2 videos in which Kennedy questioned the efficacy of the jab. He claims that YouTube took the videos down at the request of the Biden administration and sought an order barring YouTube from removing his videos as long as he remains in the presidential race. By the way, this protection should apply to everybody, right? Not just presidential candidates. Americans, at least, have a First Amendment right. It doesn't, just because you're running for president doesn't mean you have a double First Amendment right or a super First Amendment right. You have the same First Amendment right that I have. And, if these companies want protection via Section 230, then they should be abiding by our First Amendment rights. They should be abiding by being platforms, not publishers. But they don't want to do that. They want to control what happens in the election. They want to control what information you see. None of this is new. None of this is surprising. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you consider supporting New Tech. Get the app. Follow me on there. Tune in tonight at 5:30 Eastern. I'll be joined by Melanie Mack. We'll be talking about a lot of DEI hilarity and things like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe and follow wherever you watch. We'll talk to you again real soon.